Sup Nerds, Free 99 here. Welcome back to another episode of Pokepath TD. As you can see, we have updated to 1.41. Another minor update has come out for the game. And along with it came a brand new art style for the map. It looks basically the same. They just changed around the design a bit. The path is still basically the same. Notice on the left side, a few things have changed. First and foremost, there's a brand new currency that is reminiscent of the ribbons that you would get from the Poke Contest. I don't remember ending the last episode with almost $250,000, so I'm not quite sure if the manual update worked as intended. Maybe it rolled back like a couple of minutes, seconds, not entirely sure, but we have 250,000 more or less. This was actually bigger. I just had to fiddle around with these new buttons. I can tell you that this one is how you deploy and return back Pokemon, so that's kind of cool. I is just information. Nothing has changed on this side. This is why we have lost a couple of dollars and why Scratchers is one level ahead of everybody. This is just +1 level to whoever Pokemon we press this on. So that's kind of neat. If you're just leveling them up one at a time, you don't have to go into information and then press any of these three levels or these three buttons. Instead, you can just do it from this home screen. So that's cool. And then the last one is painfully obvious. This is how you swap items between people, which is cool. I'm glad we don't have to go into the information screen all that often anymore. But that's not all what I have discovered that this new update has given. I'm sure there's more to it than what I'm showing you now, but in the map, ta-da, there are now a fourth section to each route. So there is a 1-4, a 2-4, and a 3-4 that we have to get into. So that's going to be fun. Not only that, if you can plainly see up here, we have unlocked 400 plus stars, which means we have unlocked 3-2. So this is the brand new map that I want to check out in this episode. First and foremost, though, we did find a couple of hidden Pokemons in Route 1X and 2X. So I'm sure there's also a hidden Pokemon in one of the 3X routes. Whether or not it's in this one, not entirely sure. I'm just hovering anywhere that could be like a suspicious location, such as these glowing blue rocks. Maybe somewhere in the river here. Doesn't look like it. We know we'll find one when the mouse cursor changes shape, and it doesn't look like there is. This snow Pikachu would have been a great spot to hide one, but alas, that is not the case. Let us go ahead and remove all the Pokemon here and see what we have to deal with. There's 4 field locations down here in the middle. 4 grass, obviously in the grass patches. There's 4 water. And then there's 4 mountain terrains where these, I'm going to call them craters, where these craters are. So that's going to be cool. 4. Now, what exactly should we put in them is the next question. Looks like there is now an add Pokemon button, which is cool. It's not sorted in the way that we want it to, though, because yeah, I'm not entirely sure how this is sorted. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's not numerical by the game standards. It's not alphabetical, I don't think. Yeah, Voltorb would not be up here. It's not favorite based. Maybe it's level based. It could be that, but if it was, why would it not be like the highest level up here? No, it's not level based, because we know for a fact Scratchers is the highest level Pokemon that we have right now. I'm not going to use that button. Let's go back into our box here in our team management and do it this way. So we know the Pokemon's going to come here from the left. They're probably going to go up, around, either clockwise or counterclockwise, down and then out, which means this strip of vertical line is the most important spot in the game, since most Pokemon will go through there twice. Most, if not all. I'm not entirely sure if there's going to be like a gimmick where some Pokemon just go straight on through And if there is, that would suck. But we definitely want to make sure that we have something in the 2 field spots, I believe. Yeah, there's 2 field spots. They're gonna need to have like a lot of range though, is the thing. Also we need to figure out what to ditto. And I want to say it's gonna be Sceptile Ditto in order to put them in here. This seems like a good spot for them. And then since we want range and anti-armor, I would assume Hawlucha would be that Pokemon to put in the very beginning. It does reach. I just want to double check. Make sure Machamp can't do the same thing. I know Hawlucha does have bigger range. Yeah, Machamp can barely hit that. Maybe if we gave it a few more levels, they would be able to hit there, but they can't right now. So it has to be Hawlucha. That's our anti-armor. Who goes into the other spot is the next question. Ampharos? Are they ranged enough? They are. Okay, that's good, that's good. So Ampharos has a chance to stun anything in this vertical line, which gives Hawlucha, our Christmas Tree and Legion, Sceptiles. That's what they are. Sceptiles. A few more seconds to deal with anything that goes through here. So that's cool. As for the last grass patches, I don't think I want Lilligant, just because it's a ring, and Backpack will end up having like a couple of blind spots. It is able to hit this eye location. I'm calling it an eye because it, like if you chop off here, it looks like a capital I. Is that worth giving up all this space? And I'm not entirely sure. I mean, Ditto can hit that area. We'll put Backpack for now. I'm willing to give it a shot. Jumpluff has to be in, I know that. Pom-Pom. Who has more range, Pom-Pom or Castform? Range of 136, whereas Pom-Pom has 170. Okay, so Pom-Pom does have more range. Castform has more damage, but we're trying to make sure that this area where most Pokemon, we're assuming, goes through twice, gets enough attention, which means we're also gonna need a couple of our mountain Pokemon, which is Flygon. We'll put them here. Ooh, that is a lot of range. I do like that. And then Castform, I believe, can also be added. They might not be in grass, but they can be up here in the mountains. The range isn't that great though. It's not as big as I thought it was. There is another Pokemon that we could put suspect, which is Temp. They do have, let's remove Castform. And then we'll put Temp up here. Yeah, that covers a lot more space. I think Temp can be starred then, if they're at least useful for one more map. And then I guess one last Pokemon in the water. Can Corsola hit this? Not entirely sure. It can. Ooh, she can. And she can also... Okay, do we want to slow down ahead of time or at the end? And I think we're going to go with the starting slow. Just because Ampharos doesn't really do damage. A slow and a stun on top of each other doesn't seem that great. Whereas Hawlucha can take a bit more time to shred armor. But like I said in the beginning, we do have 2,400 Digidolins. Let's go shopping. Okay, I'm pretty sure we bought Shellbell before. So this save file might be like not current. Maybe I did something wrong when I updated to 1.14, but anyway, Shellbell is like the best out of all of these. It's the most generic. So let's buy that. We've got the Star Candy. Okay, well, it's a Star Sweet, not Star Candy, but, you know, I guess that's a translation thing. Gain 0.1 additional range every star. Can only be held by Clefairy or Clefable. Honestly, that's pretty good. That is a lot better than the Pokédoll that we've gotten, which was like a healing item. I'm pretty sure this is the best out of all of these. We got the Electrizer. Yeah, that's the one. Deals 30%. Also, yeah, wait a second. These now have the names on them instead of having to guess what they are. The egg is still an egg, obviously. Contains a random Pokemon. It would have been cool if it, like, well, would it have been cool if it told us what Pokemon we were getting? I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, Sticky Barb, Heart Scale, Soft Sand, Shield Breaker Bullet? Doesn't sound right. Could be another translation mistake. I'm pretty sure this was Iron Ball. At least in all of the Pokemon games that I have played. But moving along, deals 30% extra damage to stunned enemies. Only Pokemon that can cause stun can equip it. So we could increase the damage that Lighthouse does to stunned Pokemon, but I'm pretty sure you don't attack fast enough, right? Yeah, they stun for 1.5 seconds, and the recharge time is basically 3 seconds. So you can't even deal double damage anyways. So I don't think that's a good item. Which would mean the next best thing would be Sticky Barb. If we ever do Octillery Corsola again. So let's buy that. A Cell Battery. Increases damage by 50% and all attacks cause flinching. But the duration is reduced. Wait, increased damage by 50% and all attacks cause flinching. But the duration is reduced by 95%. Can only be held by Voltorb and Electrode. I believe we do have Voltorb. I'm not entirely sure if flinching is the same as paralysis. Did they, or maybe Voltorb we didn't read properly? 5% chance to stun the target, yeah. So maybe flinching is a new thing? Not entirely sure. Either way, I mean, we have the Pokemon to pair with it. And I really don't like the others, so we can buy that. We got a leak! Double critical hit chance and critical hit damage can only be held by Yo! This might actually make Farfetch'd, like, a viable damaging Pokemon. Because right now it isn't. Its damage is piss poor. I'm not entirely sure if it does buff itself. But either way, we just need a couple more, set cash and we can buy this, which is nice. But we'll leave it there for now. Alucha is level 36, so we should use some of this money to level it up. We could give it a 5 times, which is good. Level 41 is better than 36. It looks like the rest, well, temp is also 41. So we're gonna need to save some money, in order to get Temp and Halucha up to the 56, like the rest of our Pokemon. But that's enough chatter for now. Let's check out the rest of this map. So I'm gonna pause here real quick on wave 14. Two things. First of all, totally forgot to give our Pokemon held items, which should come in handy in terms of getting farther into the waves. I guess Christmas tree will take the is this protein? It is? Okay, it is protein. That's good. Do we want to give it to Christmas tree? Wait a second. Let's get rid of you. Because if we put it in Hawlucha, the increased damage gets doubled when attacking the high armor Pokemon. So that might be a better place for it. Lighthouse should have the Carbos, so that its attack speed is, I mean, closer to 2.5 than it is to 3 seconds. Should come in handy. I'm pretty sure Legion still can't hold anything, which is unfortunate. Maybe it has like... wait, what? Why is this? We can drag and drop Pokemon now! Wait, seriously? Is that... Okay, that's cool. This is another way we can set them down. I like that they added this. It does nothing to the game but like make it a little bit more fun. But enough playing with that. Yeah, maybe Legion has like item specific stuff that we just have to unlock. Backpack already has the choice scarf. I think we'll give Eagle Eye the amulet coin, give us a bit more money during the rounds. Legolas, can it use anything? What was the words on the sticky barb? Increases damage by 25% to slowed or stunned enemies. Only for Pokemon. Okay, so theoretically, in a world where a Pokemon gets stunned and Legolas happens to... No, that's terrible. Is it? I mean, extra damage? Like, I'm thinking, because it's only our water Pokemon, and it does have some overlap with Lighthouse the Ampharos, in the off chance that Ampharos stuns something that Corsola damages, that's like extra damage, I guess. And then we can give something the Shell Bell to heal, I guess, as well. And I guess we'll just give that to Christmas tree, I guess. And I think that's it. I don't think Pomcom can hold anything that will be useful. That mulch doesn't really do anything. Air balloons doesn't really do anything. And then Temp has the heavy duty boots that doesn't really do anything. But yeah, that's gonna be it for the held items. Second thing I totally forgot, or something that I just remembered but wasn't part of the two things that I said earlier, is that I found out what these buttons do. A friend of mine who was also playing through this game told me recently that these are used to save loadouts. So if we press 1, this should have saved the team, which it did along the bottom, it said there. And then we can do remove Hawlucha, add where is Honchkrow, and then we can pluck in Corvid here. Give them the power boost item. Oh, they can't hold it? No, did we give that to somebody else? I don't remember. Well, no, it was on the Hawlucha. Yeah, there we go. And then we can save it on number 2 here. And now instead of having to do those back and forths, we can just press this button and the Pokemon will be there. So that's kind of cool. The second thing that I want to pause for was the 54,000. We should be able to upgrade somebody here for a +5. Hawlucha is 34,000 while Temp is 17,000, so we should be able to do both theoretically. Yes? 46 and 46. Perfect. We're down to 2 grand. Let's hit auto. Continue on. So I'm gonna pause here real quick again. There's something I noticed. I'm not entirely sure if our Pokemon are targeting properly. And yeah, Halucha should be targeting highest armor. So that's cool. I'm glad we caught that. You should be targeting... Well, okay, let's start with Christmas Tree. First is fine. Legion, first is fine. Halucha is high armor. Lighthouse cannot change. Backpack being able to hit available sounds fine, I guess. Ooh, we can change this now because it's not AoE anymore. It's single target. That's kind of cool. I guess we'll go first. First has been doing fine for now. Pom Pom hitting first is fine. Eagle Eye hitting first is fine. Temp hitting first is fine. Legolas hitting not slowed is correct. Okay, that's good. Second thing, we should be able to level you up, and we are. Welcome to level 51 Halucha. How much do we need for temp though? 31,000. Okay, that's something good to keep in mind. But with that being said, let's keep going. So we finally made it to an invisible wave. An Absol being invisible doesn't sound all that possible to me. Maybe they do learn Shadow Sneak, so that's something. But that's a little weird. Anyway, that's not the point. Point is, 215 Rancher Reals. We can use this to level up some of our Pokemon here. Halucha is now 56, which is in line with the rest of our team. And then Temp can get a ×10, which also puts them in league with the rest of everybody. That's not all. We can now just quick swap like this. And now we got Corvid. Sweet. Let's hit next wave. So Absol is not only invis, it's also super fast, which is kinda nutty. I'm glad we've got Corvid here instead of Grumpig, because I don't think Grumpig's attack speed could have kept up with that. But we do have a second invisible wave back to back, so let's just hit next wave again. Another invisible wave? Well, we've got 57,000. So let's go ahead and buy that leak that we were looking at. 75 grand for a thick club. Increases damage dealt by 50%. Can only be held by Cubone, Marowak, Lucario, or Riolu. Interesting. So there's no downside aside from being locked onto Marowak and Lucario. This is a good item. I cannot see a world where this is bad. I believe Marowak does Ricochet? Is that what Marowak do? Yeah, attacks Ricochet between enemies would reduce damage, so that could compensate for the reduced damage part. But I'm looking more towards Lucario, honestly, because having some AoE at 0.80, well, yeah, 0.80 seconds seems like a good idea. And then with the 50% increase, you're looking at 300 damage plus. And then we are getting closer to unlocking the fabled 10th slot at 540 stars. So I guess Lucario could just be like a generic Pokemon to slot in there and just have a bit more AoE in the game. But that's not the point. Point is next wave. I'm going to assume that that's gonna be it for the invisible waves for now. Looking through the Pokemon quickly, yes, that seems to be the case. So let's go ahead and move back to our regular scheduled programming, hit auto, and watch it go. Welcome back to another invisible wave. We've got 144 Pokepesos, so we should be able to buy the thick club now. We got a light ball. Increases damage dealt by 50%, can only be held by Pikachu or Raichu. I don't think we have unlocked those Pokemon yet, but that does make sense. This is a Pokemon game. So having the game's mascot be in here makes perfect sense. It's just like the thick club. There's no downside aside from being locked to Pikachu or Raichu. So this might be our next pickup. Also, I guess we unlock them based on dollar value, which means these are the last of the 50,000 dollar items that we can get. The rest will just keep climbing up from there. That's what I'm just assuming, or it could be completely random, like the egg. It just spits it out, and then it just so happens that we had two 75,000s in a row. That's beside the point, though. Point is, we need to switch up our team here. Let's go hit next wave and see if it's just one invisible wave or not. So it looks like it was just one invisible wave. We have 93,000, so we can straight up buy the light ball. Okay, yeah, another $75,000 item. Increases range by 30%, damage by 50%, and recharge. So, increased range, good. Damage, good. Recharge, bad. Which means they can attack slower. Or not they can, they will attack slower. Can only be held by apes. Which is... Do we have any monkeys? Is Machamp a monkey? Not entirely sure. Spinda's like a bear. We do have a Chimchar. I would assume that's an ape. Yeah. Nothing else. Like, Lucario's a dog, that's a duck. That's like an old fossil, that's a cat, that's a frog, that's a pig. Not entirely sure what a Clefable is. But that's an octopus. Or like a mollusk, I guess. No, mollusks have shells, right? This is an arthropod? No. This is a... whatever family cuttlefish are in, as well as squids. The name escapes me, but that's not the point. Point is, we have an monkey, and we're not really using them. So I don't think it's good to invest on that, what was it, like a Nana Berry? Is that what that is? I keep clicking on the box. Yeah, Nana Berry. Yeah, I don't think it's worth it to invest in that. Let's go ahead and switch back to our regular team, hit auto. Looks like wave 44 is as far as we're gonna get in this attempt. It's a little low for my liking. I honestly thought we could get it to at least 50, but yeah, that's gonna be it for this episode. As always, I've been Free99, you've all been amazing, I'll catch you next time.